What's going on, people? It's been a minute since I posted a video, but I just wanted to share my thoughts for where I see the crypto market going. Haven't been active making content on YouTube, but I've been active on Twitter, posting my ideas. I'll leave, my Twitter handle in the description. You could find this video and find me there. You can see what I've been saying for the last several months, catching I think the last video I posted was back in like April. At the time, we were still, yeah, we were about to basically tap out near the highs. And I was saying how there was like quadruple RSI and MACD bearish divergence that played out down to 29, which I'm calling the serial line MicroStrategy's medium buy-in price. Consolidated for a few months. Jumped back on a bull train, actually right near the bottom. We swung higher, made a new high, but didn't have blue skies. And then there was like you kind of see it here. It's like a rising wedge that we broke from, and ever since that, posted that on, on Twitter. And ever since we broke that, combined with the weekly bearish divergence that has formed on this, on the weekly, the MACD and RSI, we have been bearish. And everybody was singing, 100K after we broke these highs. I've been super bearish. And right now, people are starting to become a lot more bearish. I want to say like ultimate bearish, but there's a lot of depression starting to happen within this market. I just think short term right now, we're at a support zone. You see it on daily 45, we're testing it as a resistance right now. Actually, I think what is very key, we scroll in 4 hour, ever since the 8th, we have it making lower highs, lower lows. Then we've been basically just in this channel, losing value. I think what is key right now is, let me readjust that back. What's key right now is to stay above 47,300. Right now, you look on the weekly view turn on the moving averages, and you go to a weekly time frame. That is where your 50 moving average is at. You're actually bouncing off of that, trying to use that support right now. If you lose that, it's really going to get ugly for Bitcoin and crypto. And you see that we didn't test the 20 MA after breaking below it, but you got near it and then you sold off. I think it's very key to stay above this 47,300. I actually think shorter term right now, there's really no technical advantage as far as like bullish divergence or seller exhaustion on any time scale. But if you just look at the current structure, technically, yeah, you could argue it's a bear flag, just going sideways, consolidating after impulse down. But I'm kind of seeing it as maybe a double bottom temporarily. So you have your low. Let's turn these off. Okay. You have your low, and then you have, if you can pivot here and get above 51, around 51,800, you will have your first higher high, higher low. Well, your higher high would be, here actually, higher low, potentially. So it's very critical that, Bitcoin doesn't break down here and doesn't break 47,300. 47,300 breaks, we're going to have you're going to have a lot of volatility to the downside. Um, that's what I'm seeing with Bitcoin currently. I think if we could break 51,800, you could test the top of this channel. And if you potentially break out, I think we'll be testing around the 58,000 range again. And depending on where the moving, the 20 MA is at on a weekly, this week, has a few more days left. If it's still trending up, probably going to test it and most likely reject it. But, until we get there, until we actually pivot and break 51,800, I'm just speculating at the moment. I just think right now the sentiment is just not super bearish, but very depressing. And I think we'll get a little rally in the weekend, hopefully. And then, this sell off. And if that's the case, there's a few coins I'm looking at for, a short-term trade. One is YFI. And mainly because of the 4-hour structure. You look at the weekly, it looks, again, kind of bad as far as like, the next real support, it's like 10,000. But just looking at it for a short-term trade, kind of seeing the structure in the 4-hour developing with bullish divergence. Yes, you're still in a downtrend. You haven't made a higher high in a while, in a long while. But just using, its current structures, current small channel. I think we'll at least test the top of the channel around like 23,000. I think we're actually will break it. There's definitely they're getting on RSI and MACD showing sellers exhaustion. So there's bullish divergence on the 4-hour. You're seeing it's triple on the RSI and on the MACD. Definitely getting less amount of negative momentum. About to go green soon. So that's why I'm saying, like, for YFI, seeing using the structure measured move, getting anywhere from like a 13 to 14% run to the upside. And again, this is just short-term plays, nothing long-term. There's nothing structurally long-term right now that has me super bullish. But right now, just a relief, like a relief rally from all this selling. You look at the RSI, let me delete this real quick. So the target is around like 26,200. Maybe even test, this range as like resistance around like 28,400. Get the daily. Let me delete this real quick and hide these on the lower time frames. Yeah. 1 second. And if you look at the daily, so the structure, I had plotted on another chart. Really, we're just consolidating sideways for, a lot of coins rebounded, even made all-time highs. Bitcoin did, Ethereum did, but YFI has just been severely underperforming this whole time. So you could just, again, test like 28,000 range, test this breakdown. I don't know if we made a measure move yet. This is like a ascending broadening wedge that you broke down from. It's a 33% to the downside. You actually hit the, you know, target already. So not necessarily saying there, we bounce here and make higher highs, but I think we definitely will just, test this zone as resistance. It's just what I'm seeing for a temporary trade. If anything changes, maybe hold it for a longer term. See if there any, like the negative momentum on the daily is, it's been a lot of selling. And also, I could delete these. Look at the RSI on the daily. You're at, you're severely oversold 23 right now. I just think it's due for a bounce to the upside. And with that bullish, like triple RSI and the MACD bullish divergence on the 4-hour, I'm in a position right now. I think it's a low risk. And with the current structure on the 4-hour, like I said, I think we'll definitely test back to around like $27,000, $28,000. So from here, that's a nice run. That's a nice return for about 36% return from here. The coin, I'm looking at data. Been looking at data for a while now, to the higher time frames. You have this structure that you haven't broke bearishly yet. So all the hopium in the world, hopefully this is, if you're holding data and you're long, you're hoping that this is, the bottom here. Actually had it on a different chart, but looking at it, this chart, it's like a pennant slash maybe descendant triangle, maybe if you plot it here. I think this is how I had it plot another. Just have it plotted like that to have everything touching. Okay. I see data on the daily. Again, there's no technical advantage right now. Looking at that, let me pull up. Try to actually have it. Plotted on, because actually, this is way different than I plot on. Yeah, it just looks technically better right now. Got it, with the perpetual chart on Binance on a daily. But while I'm also looking at data right now, you do have a technical advantage on the 4-hour, and you're right at the bottom of the pattern on this chart. So you had the low on December 6th. It closed at like 440, and then yesterday you had your low at 437 basically, and you created some bullish divergence, and so you're at the bottom of the pattern at bullish divergence. See, the RSI has been trending up, actually triple RSI bullish divergence. I'm seeing this a lot on a lot of altcoins. A lot of the smaller cap altcoins, you're getting seller exhaustion, especially on the RSI and on the MACD. And I just think it's a low risk. You take a chance. That much of a structure, maybe just a pennant. Usually this is again after impulse down. Usually this type of consolidation, it means more selling to the downside, but no, I'm not. I'm just taking short-term trades. I think we'll test around like 490. If you break out of this pattern, there's potentially more upside. A 27% move. And depending on where it breaks out at, and you could be testing, your prior support as resistance, so, on the lower time frames. And like you see, this was like this area was holding as support. You kept bouncing off it, making lower highs every time, and you finally dumped. And now, you're just consolidating until you break like around like 490. Um, can't be super bullish, but like I said, I'm just looking for short-term trades. Um, this mini relief rally to the upside before potentially more selling, or if data could ever break above, gonna have to delete those lines or at least hide them. Well, this data ever could break above, this trend line is down slope and resistance around like 470, 675. The target is around $40. So if the bull market continues, Bitcoin rebounds and starts making newer highs, gets to like break 65K, 66K, goes up to like 75, 80K. Data could really outperform a lot of these coins. Something I've been if you've been watching this channel, I have all these things plotted from way back here. Been plotting, been trading data, daily or just long term for a minute. Haven't tried to, in this range, try to take a long, got stopped out. And of course, you had a dump. So you're getting long in this consolidation, which is typically not good. Usually, when you're consolidating this long for this amount of time, maybe there's just some distribution going on. And maybe we'll get a test up and roll over. But right now, it's too early to tell. But again, data is just so I'm looking at around like $6 if it breaks 490, my current targets. And then last coin I'm just looking at is Ethereum. Ethereum's been really been performing way better than Bitcoin. Unfortunately, just like Bitcoin right now, and depending on the close of the week, you will be confirming bearish divergence on the weekly, on a MACD and RSI. So that's definitely not good for Ethereum. I'm definitely losing momentum. And then if you look at the 4-hour, we're looking at this, and this has been happening a lot with a lot of these coins, as they start to develop this head and shoulder pattern, which you can see. You have the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, definitely, and then you have your definitely have your neckline. You keep testing it. You have the bearish divergence on the weekly. It looks bad. So as you break, this trend line, you break 39.50, $3,050. If you look left, there's like that's been like a key level. That was like near the 39, like 50 to 39, like 90. That area was the all-time high before back in so that was September. Like I said, Ethereum has been outperforming a lot of the alts because of the BTC pair, but there's definitely a head and shoulders formed. Potentially formed. Got to break both the neckline to actually be considered head and shoulders, but definitely a pattern has formed, and it looks, with the weekly bearish divergence, that looks extremely bearish. But I think maybe you'll just get another rally, or who knows. The ETH BTC pair has been definitely holding this asset up. Posted it on Twitter months ago, right before the breakout. It was like a inverse head and shoulders or ascendant triangle. can see the consolidation. You broke out bullishly. That's why, you know, Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin and pretty much any of their alt, even in the downturn. But I know I was looking at this. No, I'm all over the place, but I was looking at this earlier. You have triple MACD, and that looks around the same level, and like triple RSI, bearish divergence, the 4 hour. It's kind of why today Ethereum has been selling off more than Bitcoin. But you look at it longer term, like I was saying, I posted this on Twitter as well. You had the inverse head and shoulders slash like ascending triangle. I was posting this, you know, I've been bullish on this pair really since September like 2020. Really, it actually was before that. And you rejected, I think it was like a little bit before December 2020. And rejected, made another, you know, higher low, finally broke out. Consolidated, broke out bullishly. What was the target was around like, I think it was around like 10% of a Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken. You're getting close to, yeah, you're getting close to this target as far as like measure move. And actually you can move this up a little bit, this trend line up a little bit, get a little bit more, use a Wix. So 175, 175. Yeah, so target is around, you know, about like 12.5% of a Bitcoin. So there's potentially more upside, but right now, short term, there's some bearish divergence. And then if, like I say, you look at the ETH USD pair, just doesn't look as bullish right now. It actually looks terrible. I'm expecting a sell-off, but a lot of these plays, like I said, it all depends on if Bitcoin can stay above 47,300. It's a very critical zone. Kind of looks like potentially creating like on the lower time frames, like on the 4 hour, maybe it's creating his own head and shoulders for Bitcoin, or maybe a double bottom. We'll see. That's what I'm seeing right now in crypto market. Just expect a small rally, maybe even a nice, you know, rally for a couple weeks. But 47.3 is key. Must stay above that. It stays above that a lot. Wi-Fi and theta should run. Should have a nice return. Breaks down. You know, I hope you're either short or in fiat because it can get real ugly. And honestly, just looking at the market overall, and I've been saying this since like 63K, really ever since we broke that Ryzen wedge. And then I saw the bearish divergence on a weekly was basically forming and then confirmed on Bitcoin. I think we're potentially entering, well, I think we're entering the bear market. Levels to look more longer term is key to stay above, not just the 47,300, but you have to stay above around like 43,000, because that would be the first time, well, yeah, that would be the first time this whole run since the March of 2020 lows that on a weekly you made a lower low. So that will signal, you know, that you are definitely in a bear market. Probably will make a lower low, and you could probably be testing 29,000 again. And I think that is, look at the Bitstamp, got a lot more going on here. Yeah, and look on Bitstamp, and that's what I'm saying. 47,300 is key to hold. Your next moving average is at the 100 moving average is at like 29,300. So this is what I'm seeing with the crypto market. Hoping for a rally this weekend, maybe for a few days. If not, it's going to get real ugly. But till next time, peace.